Welcome back to Open Window Politics. Today we're going to be going through a prediction between AOC on the Democratic side, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, versus J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is largely regarded as the most likely nominee for the 2028 presidential Republican primary, and I think at the moment it is more likely that Vance would be the Republican Party's nominee than AOC would be the Democratic Party's nominee. We'll have to see what happens. AOC hasn't even announced if she's going to run for the president yet, so it'll be interesting to see. Largely, J.D. Vance is regarded as the most likely contender in 2028. I don't think he's made an official announcement yet. We're still quite a ways out until 2028 presidential election. But fun to do a little hypothetical election between these two candidates. So I'll start out in Nevada and in the East. In Nevada, I think this will be one of the easier states for Democrats to flip back into the Democratic Party's column. This state did go to Trump. It kind of shocked the nation by going red for Trump in 2024. It was a state Trump didn't even win Nevada in 2016, but in 2024 he did. And a bit of an interesting election race there. We saw some key voting demographic groups shift towards Trump and Republicans in general. At the moment, I think with the environment being way more favorable for Democrats at the moment, if the election were to be held today, that it would result in a Democratic victory. I don't feel quite as confident in calling it a Democratic victory for the state of Arizona. Arizona went to Trump by a lean margin, and it will be interesting to see what a Republican other than Trump, how they perform in the national landscape. For 12 straight years, Trump has been the Republican Party's nominee, as far as Arizona goes, he's had mixed success. In 2016, he won it. 2020, Biden won it. And then in 2024, it went by a lean margin to Trump. So mixed success in the state of Arizona. I think if a candidate other than Trump were to be the nominee, less scandal-ridden than Trump, that it would play well to some key voting groups in the state of Arizona. So that's going to be 11 electoral college votes for J.D. Vance. And then Wisconsin, going to put that in the Democratic Party's column. I think this is probably the state that is the second most likely to end up switching to Democrats. I also already characterized the district there in Omaha. That's going to be one more vote for AOC. And then I'll do the rest of the Rust Belt later. I'm going to go down to the South, Georgia. I think this would also be similar to Arizona, whereas a more establishment Republican, such as J.D. Vance, who's kind of got the establishment appeal, with also the more Make America Great Again lens of the Republican Party. So that has going to be 16 electoral college votes for J.D. Vance. North Carolina, I feel even more confident in predicting that it would end up in his column. The state didn't even go for Biden in 2020. Both North Carolina and Georgia do have interesting Senate elections coming up in November. That can give us an idea of which way the state is leaning. But there are some elections and some voters who only come out for the presidential election, and generally it favors whatever the partisan nature of that state is. So that's going to be 16 more votes for J.D. Vance. And then I think Michigan and Pennsylvania. I'm going to start with Pennsylvania. I think Pennsylvania, maybe I'm torn between Michigan or Pennsylvania being the most likely to end up to remain in the Republican Party's column if these two people were to be the candidates. But at the moment, I'm going to call both of them for J.D. Vance. So with that, AOC flips the state of Nevada as well as Wisconsin and maintains the district there in Omaha, where Vance ultimately wins with 296 electoral college votes.